Welcome to the Wadi Files. If you're into true crime cases, make sure to like, subscribe, and explore the channel for more. Now, let's get into the case. There was a time when the house on Dorset Street in Napa, California, was everything its tenants wanted it to be: safe, warm, and full of promise. But on Halloween night, that house would become something else entirely. A place of horror, blood, and secrets that would take an entire community years to unravel. In 2004, 3 young women shared that home, all in their 20s, all with big dreams. There was Adriane Insogna, a sharp and determined civil engineer. Her friends said she'd already survived the kind of tragedy that changes you forever, a near-fatal car accident in high school. But Adriane fought her way back. Her smile, her strength, her laughter, they were proof that she was tougher than life itself. Living with her was Lauren Meanza, a volleyball coach, bright, easygoing, the glue that kept the little household together. And then, just a few months before Halloween, a new roommate moved in: Mazzara, a southern beauty queen from South Carolina. She had that kind of charm that made rooms brighter. She came to Napa looking for a fresh start after heartbreak, finding work at the Coppola winery. Yes, the one owned by the Godfather director himself. To anyone looking from the outside, it was the perfect life. That night, the women handed out candy to children at the door. By 11 p.m., the lights dimmed. The laughter faded. One by one, the roommates went to sleep. Leslie and Adriane took the upstairs bedrooms. Lauren's room was downstairs. Sometime after 1 a.m., Lauren awoke to a sound she couldn't place something sharp, something violent. Then came a scream. Lauren froze. Her heart raced. She stepped out of bed and listened. Silence. Then, footsteps. Heavy, fast, coming down the stairs. She didn't wait to see who it was. Lauren bolted through the back door, into the dark yard barefoot, trembling, sure she was about to die. But the man didn't follow. Instead, he disappeared the same way he came through a window. When Lauren finally went back inside, what she found would scar her forever. Upstairs, her 2 best friends, Adriane and Leslie, lay bleeding on the bedroom floor. Adriane was still alive, but barely. Lauren slipped on something and realized it was blood. She ran out again, dialing 911. By the time police arrived, both women were gone. The perfect little house on Dorset Street had become a crime scene. News of the murders spread fast through Napa, a small, quiet town known for wine and beauty, not horror. 2 women butchered in their own home. No signs of robbery, no forced entry. Whoever did this knew them. Leslie's mother, Kathy, got the call in Michigan. Alone. Adriane's mother, Arlene, heard the news from halfway across the world in Australia. Their screams that day would echo longer than anyone knew. Everyone had a theory. Some said Leslie was the target, the newcomer, the beauty, the one with admirers everywhere she went. Others believed Adriane died, protecting her. Rumors turned the small town inside out. And still, police said nothing. All they revealed was this: the killer had left blood behind, and his own DNA. Detectives combed through the house. On the blinds of the broken window, blood. Outside in the garden, cigarette butts. Smoke down to the filter. Camel Turkish Gold. A brand so rare, most stores didn't even carry it. Was the killer nervous, smoking to calm his nerves before going inside? Or was he calm planning, waiting for the moment? Either way, his DNA was on those cigarettes. Police began with the obvious, the men who'd loved victims. Leslie had plenty of admirers. There was Brian West, an old boyfriend who once built a website devoted to her after they broke up. There was Lee Youngblood, a lawyer she'd lived with. His father, also an attorney, called her often too often. Detectives even learned that he'd phoned her twice, the very night she died. One by one, police took their DNA, and one by one, every test came back negative. Then they turned to Adriane's world, her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Christian Lee. They searched his house, took his clothes, even his bedsheets. He swore he'd never hurt Adriane, and the evidence agreed. His DNA didn't match either. The case grew colder by the day. A year passed. The families mourned in different ways. Adriane's mother drove her daughter's car every day, keeping the same radio stations her daughter had loved. Leslie's mother turned to her faith, trying to find light in the darkness. And Lauren, the survivor, tried to live again, haunted by what she'd heard that night. Meanwhile, something strange happened. Adriane's best friend, Lily Prudhomme, found comfort in her longtime boyfriend, Eric Koppel. After years of dating, they finally married just months after the murders. Arlene, Adriane's mom, even read scripture at their wedding. It was supposed to be a new beginning for everyone, but what no one knew was that the killer had been there all along, smiling, sitting among them. Nearly a year after the murders, the lab finally finished processing the evidence. The DNA from the cigarettes matched the blood on the blinds. Police went public with it, hoping someone, somewhere, would recognize the killer's habit. And just 5 days later, they got their break. 2 parents in Napa opened their mail. Inside, suicide letters from their son. He hadn't gone through with it. Instead, he confessed. He turned himself in. His name was Eric Koppel, the quiet husband of Adriane's best friend, Lily. The same Eric who had sat in interviews beside Lily, begging for justice. The same man who attended Adriane's funeral. The same man who married the woman Adriane had once called her sister. At first, nobody could believe it. Eric Koppel, the shy, gentle surveyor who'd never been in trouble before, but behind the silence was something festering. According to investigators, Eric had become possessive, jealous. He wanted Lily all to himself. He resented the time she spent with Adriane, the friendship he couldn't control. On Halloween night, drunk and angry, Eric snapped. Lily had refused to see him that night. He picked up a knife, smoked a few cigarettes outside the Dorset Street house, and crawled through a window. Detectives believe he struck Leslie first as she slept. Then Adriane heard the noise and fought back. In that brutal struggle, Eric cut himself, leaving his blood behind. When it was over, he burned his clothes and shoes in a backyard fire pit and went home like nothing happened. He told police later that his memory went black, that he remembered smoking outside, but not the killing. But the evidence told the truth. He knew exactly what he had done. To spare the families a trial, Koppel pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. He would spend the rest of his life behind bars. No chance of parole. At sentencing, Adriane's mother faced him in court. "You knew Adriane," she said, voice shaking. "You were the man who stabbed her again and again, while she was sleeping in her own home. That is not love, Eric." Koppel sat motionless, but when his wife Lily spoke, the room froze. "Eric, there is nothing you could do to make me love you any less." Those words hit like a knife. Arlene, broken but composed, could only whisper, "How could she?" When Koppel finally spoke, he called himself a broken man, trapped in darkness, haunted by his own wickedness. He said he'd been terrified of losing the only light in his life, Lily. But in his twisted attempt to keep her, he destroyed everything. Today, the house on Dorset Street stands quiet again, but its walls remember the laughter, the screams, the betrayal that came from within their circle of trust. Leslie's mother says she refuses to let grief win. "Leslie was a gift," she says softly, "and I'm grateful I got to be her mom." Arlene still drives her daughter's car, still keeps the same radio presets. Sometimes, she says, she can almost hear Adriane singing along. And somewhere in a California prison, the man who destroyed them all sits alone, a monster who once called himself a friend. Because evil doesn't always come from strangers in the dark. Sometimes, it's the familiar face sitting right beside you. Thank you for watching. If this case kept you interested, make sure to subscribe and check out the other cases on the channel. There are more stories waiting.